Hey everyone, I wanted to film a super quick post-stay at Townsend Gateway Inn review for everybody. I'm not even gonna set the tripod up because I've got to do this super quick, but I wanted to hit some highlights, some things to let people know, and talk about pros and cons and would we stay there again. So let's start here. This was our second stay at the cottages at Townsend Gateway Inn. I've never stayed at the hotel there itself. I have only ever stayed at the cottages. Oh goodness, it was 8 years ago. We had a 5-year-old, a 3-year-old, and a 1-year-old. We had just enough money at that time to have like a one-night stay somewhere, and we found this little cottage near Cades Cove, and that was our goal, was to find a place near Cades Cove that our family could stay at. And it's hard to find places where families of 5 can stay, so they were willing to let us stay, and this was years ago, so if they've changed their policy, this was years ago, but because we brought our own pack and play for the baby, they let us stay. So we stayed there 8 years ago. So last year, after Madeline's camping trip at Loyston, if you haven't seen that, I'll link it up in the cards. We wanted to do, we sat down, again, this was last year, pre everything going on in 2020. We decided that we wanted to do a vacation, a weekend vacation for each of the girls to celebrate their birthdays. Madeline was celebrating her big 13th birthday, and it was her first teenage birthday. We wanted to make it special. So while I was still working with the travel agency I was working with, I started looking for places to stay. Madeline's criteria is usually someplace to swim. Rebecca specifically wanted the hotel that Matt and I stayed at for our 10-year anniversary. So we stayed at that hotel. We did a different room that we stayed at, of course, then, because anniversary we stayed in a king size room, and for this trip we did two queen size beds, and it was, I don't remember what floor we were on, I think the 3rd. So we did that. We had to cancel Sarah's because of everything going on. It came up to time, we had the cabin booked for 9-10 months, and we decided to go ahead and go. So let me go back to that again real quick. So what we decided to do was a trip for each of them. We started with Madeline's because it's in the Smokies, and we knew, and it was her birthday fell the Saturday before, I don't know, it was the weekend before the 4th of July, like the 4th of July week for 2020. So I knew we had to book early. So while I was still, sorry I keep saying so, I say that a lot. While I was still working as a travel agent, I had a link to book people's stays on Expedia. That place popped into my mind. It was the first place I could think of, hey, we've stayed here before, it's near Cades Cove, she likes swimming and she likes nature photography. That was best of both worlds. So I looked it up. It was still available. They even had bought the motel next door to it to have a pool now, which they actually had a place where they could have had a pool, but they don't use it anymore. They've got it boarded over. Don't know if something happened to the pool. I don't know. But now they have an actual functioning pool, and they have like an area that was a pool that you could go and play stuff at. We were like right outside that, so that was really cool. So we went ahead and booked that ahead of time. When I quit my job, or resigned my job as a travel agent, that's a whole nother video if you're even interested in that, but I did that. I transferred over the stay. It worked out fine. We still had it booked. So we booked it on Expedia, and booking as a travel agent, honestly, it was not much different. I don't know. I've always been the one to book our vacations and do all the research and all that, and look at places to stay whenever we travel. So that's always been my thing. We booked it. You don't pay when you book, even with Expedia, even with any of the travel booking websites other than just their own. You don't pay. You pay when you get there. So my biggest fear was, we're gonna get there and they're gonna charge an extra cleaning fee because everything going on right now. They're gonna charge extra fees for like changing the price because we booked 10 months ago. We actually didn't have that problem. It was the exact same price as they quoted us in September of 2019 when we stayed in June, end of June 2020. It was almost 10 months, and they didn't change the price. So that worked out great for us. So the booking process, super easy, and the price was just what we wanted. And compared to like other cabin-esque style places, it was one of the best places to stay for our budget without like going overboard and without being like way super cheap and absolutely hated it. So there were perks of it, of why, another reason why we went with it. It was easy to book. I wanted a place, Madeline had seen we watch other YouTubers. She has seen other YouTubers on, like, they went on vacation one time and it was raining and they were like, you know what? Let's just go down to the store and buy ready bake cookie dough and go bake cookies. And Madeline's like, and this was like 2 years ago, Madeline was like, you know what? If I ever stayed at a cabin, I would want it to have a full kitchen so we could bake cookies, because we don't get to bake cookies that often at home because we're always so busy, especially in the summer, because like our house was built in 72. It has like a ceiling fan thing or exhaust fan. I don't remember what they call it. Anyways, it's a heat vent fan. There's one in the kitchen and one in the hallway. It's still really hot, so we can't bake cookies in the summer. So she was like, if I go, I want to bake cookies. One of the criteria was it had to be a cabin, had to have a pool, and it had to have a full kitchen. And the cottages at Townsend Gateway Inn had all of that. So the booking process, all that went great. It was exactly what we wanted. The only thing I would have changed is she was fine with it, but I kind of felt bad that she was sleeping on a pull-out bed, whereas like Rebecca on her trip, we all stayed in the same room at the hotel, but she had her own bed. But then like there wasn't like a couch or anything like that at the other place, and of course it didn't have a full kitchen. Like the breakfast thing, I don't know if you noticed from the vlogs, they provide like morning baskets, and they have like coffee cakes and coffee and decaf coffee and tea and trail mix and things like that. So like even though they don't like provide breakfast, you get breakfast snack stuff. So it worked out for us. But like I showed you, we have our own little hack of what we do whenever we're doing hotel stays and we don't have breakfast provided. So that wasn't a problem for us of there not being breakfast provided. Normally, one of my criteria is usually I will pay $20 more per night for breakfast included, because we would spend more than that for our family to eat out per meal. So a family of 5, usually I look at $5 per head for breakfast and lunches and $10 per head for dinners eating out at tourist areas. So that's my budget number. So I figure if I'm spending $25 on breakfast, I'd rather spend $20 extra on the hotel to get hot breakfast provided. So that's usually my criteria. I know everybody's is different, but that's what my personal criteria is. I was fine with there not being a hot breakfast because I knew they did the morning baskets. We were fine bringing our own breakfast. And Madeline had even said, I don't care, once she found out about the trip, she said, I don't care if breakfast is provided as long as we go. I don't care if we bring every bit of our own food if we can't eat out, as long as we still go. So we did. So we brought our own breakfast and lunches, and we only ate out for dinners and only places that we could do pickup for 2020. Normally we probably would have done at least one nice sit down dinner like we did with Rebecca, but that wasn't an option, but that was okay. She was still extremely grateful to do this trip, so that was fine. So that's basically the booking process, the whole room thing. So the actual check-in process, you drive up, you go into the office, it's super cute. They gave us all the paperwork and everything. Then we get in, go and check in the cabin, and it's spotless, it's clean, the baskets there welcoming us. It was great. My only downside of this trip was I wish they had told us at check-in that due to everything going on, that the pool was going to remain closed. They didn't tell us when we did the check-in beforehand or any of the emails leading up of, hey, the pool's not opening. Because I mean, they still had on their website, you know, they had like updates of everything we're doing to keep you safe in 2020. Never said the pool was closed. And again, they obviously updated, and they're still pushing check into our poolside rooms, but didn't tell people that the pool was closed until they checked in. And it may have just been our personal experience, but I wish I would have been told before the trip, before we got there, that hey, the pool's closed. We ended up not really having to, we could have made time to go swimming, but once we got through with Cade's Cove, we were pretty tired, and she was fine just hanging out at the cabin and watching Disney XD and Disney Channel original stuff that she liked to watch. That way she could have full control of it and not have to, you know, take turns with her sisters, because usually how we do it was that we rotate off with the 3 of them of who gets to watch what. But this was like, she had full control of the TV. She got to snack on stuff that she wanted to. We let her have more soda than or sparkling water than we normally let her have, you know, things like that. Just like kind of just splurged and let her do her own thing. We let her have some FaceTime with her friends, let her play on her tablet, you know, just let her have some time that she wanted to do. So that was fine. But she really was looking forward to the pool. So to get there and not be told and walk over to the pool and the pool be closed, it was just kind of really a bummer. That is the only downside of the stay. Everything else was completely positive. We had a wonderful experience with them. Safety wise, for those that want to know that, now this is not going to be in effect for anybody outside of 2020, 2021. They cleaned the room before we got there. They do not book the rooms within 2 to 3 days before you check check in. Like nobody else had stayed there for 2 to 3 days. It was very much clean. They also use eco-friendly cleaners. So if like, I know some people like with asthma and things are sensitive to cleaners. They don't use any allergy sensitive cleaners. They use organic cleaners. They're actually on the top 10 list in the United States for eco-friendly hotels because of their cleaning process. So all of that, it was clean, everything. They did not re-enter the cabin until we left. And we were fine with that. We weren't concerned about like the bed being made up perfectly while we were gone at Kate's Cove or refueling the snacks, because we brought a lot of food expecting us to not get to go anywhere to eat. Like I had planned on that. I was hoping we could do eat out, but worst case, if we hadn't eaten out Friday and Saturday night, we could have made it work. They never re-entered, so we didn't have to worry about like contaminate, or you know, like not contamination, but like, you know, spread of anything. They never re-entered. None of that happened. So it was just us. Nobody else came in for the almost 48 hours that we were there. Well, 36-ish hours that we were there. We were pretty happy overall with it. Like I said, my only one complaint was the pool thing, and that could have just been a miscommunication with staff. But otherwise, it was clean. It was exactly what we wanted. If it hadn't been for the fact that there were a lot of people at the fire pit on Saturday night, we probably would have used it to roast marshmallows and things. And we normally wouldn't mind sharing, except we were trying to distance on this trip because again, 2020. Overall, we were super happy with our stay. Minus the pool, I have zero negative things to say about it. Would we stay there again? Yes. I'm actually considering looking into maybe trying one of the rooms, but honestly, I love the cottages so much, and it has that full kitchen, which having a full kitchen on vacation can save you so much money. On top of that, I mean, they had the kettle, they had everything we need, they had like full kitchen, they had dishes and everything. I don't know, I think I would rather, if we're gonna do another like hiking or looking around the Smokies kind of stay, I would feel more comfortable with that. Now, if I was looking into something where breakfast was provided, maybe look at something different. But if you're looking for like an affordable cabin experience stay, I would highly recommend the cottages. We've stayed at number 2 and number 1, and we like both of them. I did in the Facebook Townsend Gateway Inn actually commented on from my video. I said during the tour, I thought there was more wooden furniture, like the bed, the couch was a futon bed from our last stay, and they said yes. Cottage 1 had a couch, cottage 2 has a futon bed with like wooden, like it looks like rustic cabin furniture. So I like both. I probably would have preferred cabin 1 with the couch for the little kids, because I was kind of nervous about that with the little kids staying in the cabin with the one with the futon wooden pieces versus the couch. But I would definitely stay there again. We're actually considering it again. I have some other vacation ideas of things to explore in the Smokies, places that I've never been before that I want to take the girls to. So that was our experience at Townsend Gateway Inn. If you have any other specific questions or comments that I did not cover, leave it in the comments below. Don't forget to hit that bell to get the notifications every time we upload a video. Please don't forget to subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.